घेवच्या आधी हांवें तुका वेंचून काडलो. तुज्या आवयच्या कुस्म्या घेवच्या आदी हांवें तुका मागलो. तुज्या आवयच्या कुस्म्या घेवच्या आदी हांव जळान पडलो. आनी तुज्या आवयच्या कुस्म्या घेवच्या आदी हांवें तुका एक पिसाव दिला. आनी हे पिसाव जावन आसा म्हजे पोरशेक तुवें म्हजे लागीं हाडूंक जाय. ती पोरसां म्हाका चोरल्या. आनी हाच्या दुसऱ्या वाचपांत हांवें पळयता किरीटपणा प्रतिशाळ वापरून जेजू आमकां सगळ्यांक आपयता. किरीटपणान ताच्या तोंडाक वाडून. आनी हाच्या शुभ वर्तमानांत हांवें पळयता सगळो संवसार जोडीत. सगळो संवसार जोडीत. आनी आपलो आत्मा इबाडी जाल्यार मनशाक प्रश्न पळयलो. And that is why in the 1506 a boy was born to a rich noble family in Spain. His father was a big businessman. The parents gave the name for his boy Francisco Xavier. For studies he was too good. Always liked to be first. Always wanted to be excellent in everything. And with this, because noble family, he had always had a pride. आपल्या भितर ताका गर्व आशिल्ले. सगळेचपणी ताका पयलो जावन सोदतालो. आनी हाकाच लागून ताचे शिकप केल्या उपरांत 5 years study. And when he goes to one of the top university in Paris, Francis gets admission over there. And there he was too brilliant. Everywhere he was shining. And ताचे सगळ्यांत जायते ताचे इश्ट आशिल्ले. There were many friends he had. Because the purpose of having many friends was that he wanted to be famous. That was his ultimate aim. At that time, there's another person who comes in the university, Ignatius Loyola. At the British Ignatius Loyola, Francis a person. And boys comes to the this man, Francisco Xavier, is from noble family, and they are high. At the Francisco, जेन्ना आपल्या स्वताच उलटी पण दाखयता, and जेन्ना when he says, I want to be famous, the entire world should know me. This was his phrase in the life of Francis Xavier. And त्या वेळेला प्रतिशा बाबा कडेन Ignatius Loyola, देव ताका धाडटा. God sends this Ignatius Loyola in the life of Francis Xavier. In the beginning, Francis Xavier is not like this Ignatius Loyola. कित्याक Ignatius Loyola स्वताच म्हणटालो, कसलो फायदो फ्रांसीस? आख्खो संवसार तुवें जोडलो. आख्खो संवसार तुका आवडटलो. तूं जोरी कर तुजो आत्मो जोरी कर तूं इबाड केलो जाय. And every time he used to say this. And that is why slowly Francis becomes a friend of Ignatius Loyola. And British बाबा घेतो हो भुरगो जेजुईट संस्थान भितर सरता, सोसायटी ऑफ जीसस. आनी संस्थेचे आपले पाद्रीपणाचे शिकप केल्या उपरांत he becomes the missionary priest. आताच्या वडील किरीटपणान British बाबा in the 1541 his superiors tells Francis, with obedience you have to go to India, the mission. And nobody wants to come to India. Nobody wanted to come to India. British बाबा आता वेळेला Francis एका बोटीर बसता आनी दुसऱ्या बाजूनी हे बोटीचेर बसता आनी ते गांव कशी. And during the voyage to India, many things happened. जायतो लोक आशिल्लो हे बोटीचेर British बाबा कडेन जे उरताले, they used to vomit on the ship. These other people, they used to have loose motion. And that's the time Francis, as a priest, as a missionary, he goes and helps them. तांच्या टायम काडटालो, तांची वोकार पुसतालो. British बाबा पळयलो. This made him to grow in the love of people. Highly intellectual. Well known from a noble family. He had everything. He gave up his palace. He gave up his country in Spain. And he comes to India. And the ship comes to, the vessel comes to Goa. We are from
Goa.
We are from Goa. British good English in Goa. Sanskrit and Goa भाषेत गाव खारा. And then Francis reaches to this a small state. It is the smallest state in India. Smallest state in India. And here when Francis Xavier comes, he sees the people with different profession. Some, thode carpenter, thode koi, thode gustiya varvaje, thode chef karti, thode dimran varvaje, thode redder. And Sai vaje pritija bhavano. And here are brother. These people have something beautiful, and that is, these are united people. They are loving people. They are down to earth people who go as this community. That is what he experienced. And that's the time with his cross in one of his hand, and a bear in his hand. And slowly he falls into love with these people, especially with the youth. And it is said, now I start telling on the villagers. There were many youth who used to come with Francis, because Francis started teaching them education. Under the tree of oak, under the coconut tree, under the mango tree, we started giving them education. At the same time, and the Guru started giving them the good faith of Jesus, which is about the Lord. And everybody was learning from Jesus. And that was a time, Jannah, for a Karnataka Sakata Vetano, Ekadisa, Pradisha, Mahopano, Amizana, Amchumoya, Soviet Buribus, Ekadaipa. There were no proper roads. So like Hariani Malayaras that actually. पात्राने आणि माती पायात आम्ही वाढून आणले नशिल्ले त्या घरातले आमचे भाव आमचे वडील आमचे सकाळचे आजो पणजे काष्टी मारून बोलताले वय काय आताचे डायना काष्टी पण मारतो ओन्ली फॉर फॅशन शो आणि त्याला पण खुश पाहिजे आमचा अवयव त्या टाइमला का पडला ताली दिस वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल थिंग. And a pretty job over there, the youth and the family was going. Ekadisa a straight white one of the youth. It solo like a forget tornado dance Martha, and a tornado Jivita after Kudi to rock the Martha, and a tornado voice Martha. The boy died with the straight white. And that's the time the job of Obrino. Kirit Paranata, or Hounslow Sabbath, who Samre Zata, a Burya Shaboy, Akit Rakta, Akela. Father Francisco, please help us. In Goa, there is one beautiful thing. The priest is the father of everybody. If any problem we have in our community, if any problem we have in our family, there is ups and downs. The holy souls of our community, we go near our Padri, we go near our priest. And this is here, and Francis comes running with the cross in his hand, and he sees the boy is dead. And he prays with Jesus, he touches the cross to his body. And that's the time many people believed in him. And they said, this man God is very powerful. His God, Jesus Christ, is very powerful. So Jesus is very powerful. And so I thought, we are going to have to do and it's only power to spend our life. He is one of the miracle. Dusri miracle, Pradisha Bababino. When he was going to China, Pradisha Bababino, Gatalato, Atagala Akti Boat Alta, Yadoria Akti Boat Alta, and the ship is about to sink. And Francis prays to Jesus. And there was a cross in his hand. And he throws this cross in the sea. Yadoria Babata. Papapuris, Povitpuris, Doria Babata. And that's the time when the cross falls in the sea, the Arabian Sea. The sea becomes calm. Doira Shah. That's a little do also Puris, my cross. And he started praying, Jesus, please give me my cross. The sheep, Abraham Alta, and then this Francis, he goes and kneels down on the seashore and prays. And he started going, walking with his language. He sees something in the water, something is like diamond shining. And he sees a beautiful thing, a big crab with Francis Francis Rotta, the biggest miracle. The crab comes with the same cross which Francis had thrown in the sea to calm the sea. He takes the claws of the crab and the cow, it was plain. But Francis makes the sign of the cross, and the cross comes on the crab. Do you remember? Our parents, our grandparents, we used to buy those crabs, especially with the crab with the wrist, with the cross. And there was those covers. Can it go on and what then? After washing, we should keep near the altar. And it reminded of this miracle. This miracle, Francis was going. दूसरी voice and Saltani, and China, he gets a high fever because his man, this Father Francisco Xavier, was worried with the love of Jesus, and he never should take rest. He wanted to proclaim the Lord as much, was ready to die. As he was so much exhausted, he thought, fever he suffers with fever, and he was just 46 years old. 46 years old. Was he 40? 46 years old, and that's the time Francis tells his other companion, other priest, please, my only desire, please take me to Goa. He worked in Kerala, he worked in Sri Lanka, he worked in Indonesia, he worked in other states, Japan, other countries. What was he in Goa? The first time he reached in Goa, for his missionary work started in Goa. He was filled with the love of his own community, and his only desire, once he died, to take his body to Goa. British on the journey, he dies. And his companion, Kacha East, the Padre Achille, getting up in the grave, and then put him in the grave. And with the grave, with the body, he also put lot of Sagat. It's not like this only. Line, white line, Sulawanga, because he could be used to Songhai around. But while coming after many months, when they reached halfway, the ship, the vessel stopped. Ketaru, he boat going Tapta. And they were confused. Why the vessel, why the ship is not going? The sea is stopped, the engine is good, everything is fine, but nothing. The oil or whatever it was, the fuel is fine. And that's the time, once the priest remembers, then they say, did you remember our companion Francis had told us to take his body back to Goa? And British as all your parts you run, Abelov, and he start Sugimati Katta and open the grave of Francis, and the body is as it is. And that's the time they bring the body to Goa. Later on, his right hand was cut for certain miracle, and it was taken to Rome. Still it is there in Rome. 7 lakh Lokari, baptism of their law with the faith. And before I end, the fourth miracle. Francisco died in the 15th century, British Babylon. In the 21st century, British Babylon, we all know, when his body was there, every year his body was kept open. British Babylon, so that other people may come and December 3rd December, British Babylon takes a gallows. But in the big queue, thousands and lakhs of people, there was one person, something came in his mind, and in the big queue, he said, let me try, let me pinch, and to find out, is this flesh original? Blood comes out. the 15th century, in the 21st century, the blood comes out. And that's the time last casket was made and is put over there. And after every 10 years, his body is burned down. Such a great saint. And that is what we celebrate today, his faith. Today, we are the testimony that we receive faith from Saint Francis Xavier. Let us surrender ourselves in the hands of Jesus. When we receive the Holy Communion, let us surrender our life. पवित्र कुंभदेवाच्या दोघांना मी करूया. आमचं जीवित वाटून सांत फ्रान्सिसासारखे जाऊन मागूया. जे कोणी देवान ताची कूड देखून कुसून देऊंक ना, तेच कोणी आमचो विश्वास स्वतः सांगून घेऊन फावो आपलो आशीर्वाद आयज पवित्र दिसाच्या बलिदानात जेजू लागीं सांत फ्रान्सिसा वरवीं मागूया.